Hi, everybody, and welcome to Reed's Read Spider-Man Crawl Space Edition. Check us out at the SpidermanCrawlspace.com. So, guys, I'm here to review, of course, Mary Jane Black Cat issue number 5 by, of course, Jed McKay and as usual, Marietto, on, of course, the conclusion to this mini-series over a storyline that ended 3 months ago. Was it finally worth the wait? Did we get a lot of answers with Mary Jane and Black Cat? Sorry to say no, but there is a lot of good in this issue because it really tries. So let's get to the pros. First of all, I do like the way that Jed McKay does the bait and switch. One thing McKay's been really done well in his runs on various other comics, including the last Black Cat Mary Jane series, is he really pulls a story. He's got the words and thought process of Mary Jane and Black Cat very well. Felicia and her come up with a really great plan to fool Belasco with the Soul Sword, and of course using her alternate powers as well as a split ability because, of course, as we know, there's always loopholes as much as we want, even in the realms of limbo, X-Men's version of hell. And I like how they pull the fast one on actually not only defeating the various bad guys from Hydra to Haven, and using, of course, Sim to help them get that all through, and then, of course, using the plan. And I like how they actually pull one on Belasco, because as much as he's a powerful demon and well-known X-Men, he doesn't like surprises. When he gets pulled with Mary Jane and Felicia using the Soul Sword as a split little conduit to defeat him, it's really good. And I also like the fact that how they actually defeat him and how Sim ends up taking over the area. And, of course, even explaining, too, that, yes, Madeline Pryor does have the power over Limbo, but they can have an opposition faction, which is what Belasco did, but he can use it now using the Soul Compass and the Soul Sword. It's actually pretty well done. It also sets up everything later on between Belasco wanting revenge on the three of them and a little bit of what's been going on over in the All Hallows Eve series, of course, explaining, of course, him getting his finger back thanks to the magic and repel us from Mary Jane's jackpot watch, but also the fact that he's kind of comfortable where he is so she can have his powers right now. I kind of like that factor and everything else too, and of course the what if, but that's where we get to the cons. As much as this was enjoyable and I like the way they set up the story, this could have been 2 issues less, which would actually tied up with the Ares back. Plus, of course, it's just forced the fact that, Mary Jane reveals to Felicia that why she was trapped in the Mayan apocalypse Earth, that more than 6 months passed, and it was a lot longer, and she got over Peter as a result, which is just more heavy-handed about them trying to, of course, pass it off. I also don't like the fact, as much as Mary Jane tries to put everything with Felicia, that Felicia is feeling so uncomfortable around her relationship with Peter in the current book. It really kind of thinks all 3 characters are really not into it, because Peter was aware of what was happening to Mary Jane in those areas, but of course we've had several different writers who you can tell here with McKay's work that he's only given so much information to actually work with the storyline, such as the Powers Watch, about the relationship, and of course saying how things were. Also more hints saying how Mary Jane wants to get back to the kids. Not the family, not Paul and the kids, but just the kids, which actually forces emphasis that something bad's coming down that's going to involve with the kids with the current storylines unleashing. And of course the teaser at the end about the checkout issue 25 to, as I say, see what Mary Jane did. I mean, the artwork is very well by Matera, and I think he did a really good job with the action and the depictions of Limbo and the battles with Belasco, and of course the storylines and the artwork was really well done. But with that said, this mini-series, as much as it was technically a sequel to the Black Cat Mary Jane one-shot during Beyond, it really was not needed a little bit, so for more force ending, and of course explain some things with Mary Jane's powers, which of course will factor into the current storyline. So this was more not only a money grab, but it also feels with the fact that it was a storyline that actually ended as they find at the end, like, oh, we get back and New York's back to normal. Okay, cool. That was great. I guess all those worries and things were not so much to worry about. Doesn't work. I'm actually going to give the storyline a B-, actually. I thought the final issue was a nice little wrap-up of things, but considering that this was a kind of fast mini-series and forced on us basically for a money grab and to cater off the Mary Jane Black Cat one-shot that was really good during Beyond, it really wasn't much else. And of course, as much as they set up saying there would be, of course, things coming up, there hasn't really been talk about a current sequel miniseries or anything right now down the plateau. So I don't think there's much we have to look forward to. So it was a fun little thing, but it didn't need to be 5 issues. It didn't need to force us that Mary Jane is over Peter, and also more instance that really everything is really not about Peter and Mary Jane. It's about the kids who keep changing their names. I guess we'll find out Amazing 25 in a couple weeks, huh, folks? So that's all I can say is this is a B-. And with that, everybody, I am pretty much it here. Of course, I'll be back to, of course, review Free Comic Book Day for the upcoming one-shot, which talks about the Venomverse and Summer of Symbionts. And then I'll, of course, be back right here to talk a little bit about the Joe Fixit miniseries, which wraps up, which has been a surprise amazing series, and I'll review it as a whole next week for all the wonderful people who didn't check it out or who are checking it out. So we'll talk about that more. And for anything else, guys, check us out, the Spider-Man Crawl Space. Check out our social media, Discord pages. Definitely leave us a comment or a thumbs up on our videos as well as our reviews, because I and everybody else, of course, love to hear from you. So on that note, guys, I'm out of here, and I'll see everybody later on the Crawl Space.